I'm no stranger to stress, which may come as a surprise to some of you, but I'm afraid to say that the bulk of my stress comes from personal and interpersonal problems more than it does national and global ones. I know that has to sound egomaniacal to some of my friends who are on the do-gooder spectrum, who spend most of their free time rallying support for causes or whatever. A lot of them are out there thinking, but Alex, your life has to be a cakewalk compared to what the rest of humanity is facing. Shouldn't that give you some bandwidth to tackle some of the bigger issues in your vlog entries? And yeah, it should. And if I ever start getting serious views on these and that's what the viewers want, then I am more than happy to pander. But for now, I'm not gonna give myself the satisfaction of pretending that my work inspires social change. I don't think it does. Yeah, for now, I think I'm just a guy in his bedroom talking to his iPhone, telling the construct of an audience in his head, what he thinks they need to hear, which is to chill out. Yeah, please just chill the fuck. I get it, we're all gonna die, but we can be more chill while we do that. So, see, I can say this stuff in my bedroom, but try convincing your hyper-progressive friends to breathe in a brown paper bag in person when you look as blessed as I do. You will get spit on. If not literally, then figuratively. Because let's face it, if you look like me, you got privilege. And who are you to tell anyone to chill? Guys who look like me can play with toy guns outside without thinking twice about getting shot by police. And a lot of guys who look like me hate themselves for that reason. Privilege is old news and all that, but it fascinates me, so that we're gonna talk about it. Deshane Stokes says, privilege doesn't just insulate people from the consequences of their prejudice, it cuts them off from their humanity. If you're watching this and you think along those lines, comfort yourself with this. I'm not speaking to you as a human here, but as a vlogger who has tried to atone for his privilege before. I've tried, I've found it gross, but I tried to. It was a few years ago after I read a slew of Dear White People pieces, and yeah, I responded by posting what I thought were well-intentioned mea culpas on Facebook, but it put a gross taste in my mouth. It felt like I was looking for affirmation from a construct again, but this time it was a super stylish panel of moral trendsetters, and they were looking down on me from their days, and I was begging them to give me the nod that I was a salvageable member of society, and it felt counterproductive because I was feeding this dynamic that I don't think is healthy. If I was a less analytical dude, I don't know that I would have recognized the panel as an abstraction, and I would start resenting the caricatures in my head that are drawn from this haze of status updates. And people aren't their profiles. I think that's a really important thing for people to remember. Most of the political arguments you have in your head are with people who don't exist. So yeah, I've been trying to avoid apologizing for my privilege these days for that reason. And also, it's not because I don't want to take responsibility for systemic problems. I will. If that helps people sleep better, it's on me, okay? The biggest reason I don't apologize is because it's already embarrassing to be this privileged and to have not done much with that. I really thought I'd be like a household name by now or something, or at the very least be able to afford a personal trainer. Man, when I'm at Crunch and I'm doing lateral raises, these trainers will approach me trying to give me pointers, and I have to be like, stay the fuck away from me. You know what I mean? I'm broke. Right, okay, yeah, I wanted to talk about political stress because it's palpable on my news feeds right now, and has been for quite a while. And a little context here, my social circles lean left for the most part. And a good way of visualizing the chatter that I see online right now is imagine what old imperialists thought chaos looked like. War cries, idol worship, cannibalism, stuff like that. That's my newsfeed. Very stressful stuff. Newton's third law, quick. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. I think that applies very well to politics right now. When you have a cartoon on one side of the spectrum, you have an equally unnuanced cartoon on the other side of the spectrum. And when that happens, everyone is loony. Including the centrists who are caught in the crossfire and the apoliticals who get a very bad contact high off of the milieu. At the risk of alienating myself from friends and family who are freaking out right now, I'm of the opinion that when emotions go up, problem-solving skills go down. And that's not me knocking emotion either. Emotion is my jam in so many other contexts. It's crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna read you an excerpt from this book on mindfulness, which I highly recommend to people who stress about politics to the point that they're uncomfortable to be around. When things aren't working out as we'd like them to, it's tempting to try a little harder, to keep pushing and pulling in the direction we wanna go. But is it always sensible to keep relentlessly pushing in one direction? Or should we follow the advice of the old man in the story and pause, simply waiting for things to pan out as they will, spotting opportunities as they arise? For most of us, this attitude is almost a cardinal sin because it suggests passivity. And yet, often as not, it might be the best course of action. Pushing too hard at a problem, at a stubborn donkey, might just make things far worse. It can close down the mind and prevent us from thinking creatively, instead driving us round in ever-decreasing and exhausting circles. Clear creative awareness thrives more readily in a mind that is open and playful. So yeah, chill out, and maybe you'll think of better ways to fight the good fight. I don't know, this resonated with me because, you know, some of the most well-intentioned people I know are the least efficient. Just the other week, I was serving a group of Antifa kids at the Israeli-run restaurant that I work at, and instead of tipping me, they just told me to free Palestine and fuck myself. They spent $72.95 to tell me that. Me, the waspiest guy in the establishment. That, you know, it's up to me to free Palestine. I don't know. I didn't get their strategy, but who knows? Maybe I will brush up on the conflict and, you know, offer up some solutions. Maybe my distance and privilege give me a unique vantage point. I don't know. I think I've made my case for chilling out. But here's a bonus item. Stress can alter your microbiome, which can lead to more stress, not to mention a slew of health problems. And I worry about that a lot, actually. When I'm not worrying about the rising tide of my girlfriend's resentment as I use our bedroom to film these vlog entries, I'm worrying about my gut because it's felt different since late 2018, which was a pretty traumatic time. So it might be a byproduct of some negative feedback loop in my head, or it could just be what aging feels like. Or I could be dying, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, my mom got me a VIOME kit for Christmas, just in case something in my diet is messing with me. And it's a weird gift because you don't keep it, you shit on it and send it to a lab. And then they send back the results and tell you your optimal diet. So I guess that's the gift of knowledge. And yeah, funny thing is, I didn't have to go number 2 when I was home for Christmas. So I brought it back with me to New York. But the company doesn't have licensing in New York, so I actually had to do the deed in DC on a day trip in a coffee shop. And I felt very rushed, and this is a lot. This entry has been a lot of information. Thank you, as always, for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.